give me just your name and like what did you guys decided to be a comic book creator or to even get into it? You know.
My name is Chuck Brown, and I was writing comics and creating characters before I knew there was a name for it. I didn't really decide to actually be a comic book writer until I got to college, until I met friends with mutual interest, and then I actually started writing and self-publishing.
That's so cool. And like, what made you decided that this is actually what you want to do? I mean, let's just face it, it's not really that's something people think that's like, oh, I'm gonna go to college, make money out of this, you know.
I mean, I always loved doing it. I always wanted to do it. I actually met Corey in college, and I was like, he was drawing. He was like, so this is what you're actually going to do for a living. So this is what I want to do. So I was like, wow, it's possible. I'm going to try and do it too. So that's kind of how I kind of got inspired to just go for it and do my own thing. And,
So what do you think is kind of like one of the challenges, you know, trying to get into, you know, this business? Because I know it's really competitive, you know.
I guess the biggest challenge is getting your work in front of people. You really gotta put it out yourself. You can't really expect any company or organization to actually just give you work. You have to put yourself out there, put the artwork out there, put your writing out there, do a little bit of self-publishing, do the footwork, and just get your work in front of people and getting that momentum to keep putting stuff out consistently with quality. That's it's for me anyway.
And like, did you have like a break that you actually not realized, but then I know everybody's like, I'm in culinary school, so I know right now I'm gonna be like the peon of everyone once I start. So like, was there a time where you felt like this was actually something, not that you can just pursue, but this is actually something that you were right, like you should be in it, you know?
I think when I was self-publishing with 803 Studios, and I just saw the response from other people, and I was with like-minded people that wanted to put stuff out there, I really did feel like I could do this for a living, and it could be my career. I think that when I was actually putting it out there, going to the conventions, meeting people, shaking hands, getting response from the fans, that's kind of when I knew it was possible.
And what is your like craziest fan story? Because everybody has like their own fan story, right?
Fan story? That's a tough one. I don't know. You want to talk to this guy?
Okay, I'll be there then.
Well, we have a few that we were there together.
You take that one. You take that one.
I'll tell you that. Well, you can.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't really have one off the top of my head. It's hard to say. Mostly, people that kind of tend to linger, I guess, at the table. You know, they don't really say anything. You'll say hello, and there's no hello back. They ain't interested in anything, there's no response. And they just kind of linger, and they stay there, and it's like an hour's going by, and you're like, so are you kind of curious, like, what's going on? So that's kind of, it's not necessarily one person, it's just like a type of person that you might get at cons, I guess you might say. But a fan's a fan, and they put food on the table, and it's all good. If they want to hang out, they can hang out. But that's my more weirder experiences that, you know, the silent type, I guess you might say.
So what can you say about like, you know, let's face it, like comics is very like mainstream now. You know, like not like my generation or even your generation. You know, it's something that people collect.
Right.
You know, it's like a small fandom. But now it's like it's grown so big. You know, it's international now. It's like, and I still know that's like there's some kids that you know they think like, oh, I just live like you guys you're actually local.
Right.
You know, like, and I know like there's some kids are thinking that's like, you know, oh, I'm local. Nobody's gonna pay attention to me. I don't think it's ever gonna, you know, happen to me. Like, what kind of like inspiration can you give them to actually pursue something that, you know, not everybody pursues, you know, like to pursue something that they actually love or something out of the box?
Well, like in today's world, you know, you have the internet, you have the social media, and if you can produce something and just with the click of a button, click of a few buttons, you can be published. You can put yourself out there. You can put yourself out there to the world. You know, fan art can become. You can get actual fans from your work. So you're much from growing up. You know, we had to actually travel to the cons to, you know, meet the fans and actually print our books to put something out. Now you can get with a buddy that's an artist, or as an artist you can get with the writer. You guys get together, put your stuff out, start posting stuff on Facebook, or the webpage, and get yourself out there and build your own fan base. And eventually, the big companies will come to you. But you just gotta definitely focus on quality, consistency, and just getting it out there in front of people. Don't be afraid to show the world. really they have a much bigger advantage than we did, growing up.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So now I'm gonna go to you since I'm gonna go. Da-da-da. Um, this is probably like a pretty serious question, but like as a minority, we know that there's some certain setbacks. But do you feel like as a minority, are they like pros and cons into like pursuing a career that is definitely not, probably something our parents doesn't want. I mean, especially with my parents, I'm Filipino, so they always tell me, oh, be a nurse, you'll make more money and all that stuff. So I don't doubt that when you guys are growing up, every parent wants the best for their children, But do you feel like as a minority, is there like a pros and a cons into pursuing that something that's, definitely not normal?
I think pretty much for the most part now, it's more mainstream or it's less of a challenge for minorities, I guess, to break in, because now not only do you have the emergence of black culture and hip hop culture and comics and that perfect marriage between all of that and the emergence of black female writers and artists that are just blowing up now, it's starting to be a bit more accepted to see minorities and people of color in comics as of right now. I'm sure like maybe 20 years ago, like around the time that, I had started trying to break into the business and try to find my place within, this whole thing, there was very few of us in, that world of comics as writers and artists, and it would be like the black writer or the black penciler would show up and it's kind of like a novelty. You see what I'm saying? And then after a while, I guess going into like the late 90s, it started becoming more common to see more people of color in comics, and then just over the years it was more accepted. And I think up until recently is where the industry started to embrace people of color more as creators, and not just guys that would come on and do like pencil gigs until their contract is up or something like that because they had a cool style or whatever. But I think like as creators now, we're being embraced a little bit more in the industry. So.
And as creators, like, is there like anybody that you guys are like a fan of, like that you guys are like definitely like following or want to not imitate, but like kind of just like follow or?
I mean, I'm really a fan of David Walker right now. He's right on the Power Man Manifest. And of course, I'm San Francisco to be a friend of ours. Yeah, amazing artist on Power Man Manifest. Let's see, David Snyder, I really love what he's doing over at DC. Tom King, he's a great writer over at DC. So those are some of the guys I really follow and kind of buy their books and kind of model myself after their level of quality.
So there's like this kind of two sides of like comics right now, like that they're doing the movies. Like they're like the serious kind of like the Luke Cage, Jessica, kind of like like they're kind of like almost normal. They're like superhero in kind of like a normal world. And then you have like the Civil War world, which is definitely like civil, like more like superheroes, like intensified. Like, do you guys have like a preference, or do you enjoy one or the other?
I love street level characters. I love writing street level characters. I love reading those kind of stories, but that's more my style, more grounded stuff.
The darker the better. The darker, the grittier, the grimiest stuff, just anything dark. I love it because it's for so long we've been taught in comics, like when you're coming up, everything was all wholesome and it followed this same cookie cutter template, and anything dark had a label slapped on it and just kind of put on the shelf away from everything that was mainstream. So I think now comics it's been so diversified now that you can get that dark element, and all the things that would have been considered maybe a decade ago taboo in the realm of comics, because you had the comics code and all that stuff back then that put a limit on the content. And now today it's more like you can pretty much tell your story the way that you want to, and whatever audience gravitates towards that theme, they'll just come, and your audience is pretty much set based on the content that you give to the public.
And have you guys binge watched Luke Cage yet? I haven't.
I haven't either.
Been where?
Like Luke Cage is out already
yeah.
because I can tell like on my Facebook page it's already like everybody's talking about it already.
I watched the first 5 episodes. I got up to, as a matter of fact, I was up real late. This is spoiler free, but yeah, I was up. I got up till episode 5, and episode 5 is the episode that everybody is waiting to see.
Yeah, I fell in love with Jessica, and he knows. Like my husband knows. Like I watch it, and I'm just like I don't know, if I'm gonna like it, and then I just end up binging it, and it's like, dude, like. I know it's a short episodes, but
Yeah.
or like a short season, but like that's the thing with Luke Cage. Like I feel like I'm gonna end up turning it on, and then like,
Yeah.
because I loved his character just and it's always like I feel like every time they like put another character and then they make it like giving them put a spotlight. Like
Right.
Netflix is really good on like getting you hooked and like not letting you sleep for
Right.
like 13 hours.
Oh, yeah.
They do have that thing, so it's pretty good. So.
Oh, yeah.
But what is like your favorite thing about going to like meetups or like conventions or like any of that stuff?
The fan interaction is really cool. Just to see that these people have invested so much of their lives and their time into your work, not just the money wise, not from an economic standpoint, not just from an economic standpoint, but the fact that they're involved in what it is you're doing, whether it's on a writing level or an art level. They take an interest in what it is that you're creating, and to see the feedback, even the negative feedback, that means that they're getting involved in what it is that you're doing. And in some instance, they're investing into what it is that you do. Whether it be them just critiquing your work and saying, "Hey, this is great. I like this, but maybe you can change this or whatever." And then you have guys that come in and just genuinely love the stories that you're telling, and you get their attention and they're hooked in and they keep coming back for more. So as a creator, that's the motivation that you need to keep doing what you do, create even more. So I just like that one-on-one with the people that that you're doing this stuff for, basically.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for letting me chit chat for a little bit.
Thank you.